Hi, I'm Angela with SoLA Property Group for US Realty Training, and this is Real Talk. Today we're going to talk about what to do before you submit an offer. Writing an offer is exciting. That means your buyers have finally decided on a home they love and want to purchase. However, a lot of agents just write an offer without taking the time to strategize. So today we're going to talk about some important steps to take before you submit an offer so that you can put your clients in the best position to win. Before we get into the very, very essential questions you want to ask the listing agent, the first thing you should do is run comps. Do a CMA. A CMA is a comparative market analysis. This is looking at previously sold homes within the last few months that are similar to the home that you're looking to make an offer on, so you get an idea of what the fair market value is. The caveat to this time frame is that the market has been unstable. So, for example, pandemic, inflation, high interest rates can rapidly change market value in 3 to 6 months. So why is it important to run comps before you submit an offer? Well, if your buyer is financing, that means there's going to be an appraisal. And the hope is that the appraisal will come in at the same amount or higher than what the buyer has offered. But if the appraisal is lower, the buyer is going to have to pay the difference up front. So obviously we want to avoid a low appraisal situation if possible. Knowing the comp shows the buyer if the home is listed at, above, or below the market value, and it helps the buyer decide, do they even want to make an offer? And if they do, how competitive is it going to be? Now, it's really important too that you don't just email the comps. Take the time to review the results and discuss the data with your client so that they fully understand what those numbers mean. This is the part I want you to pay very close attention to. It's when you call the listing agent for information or intel. There are some key questions you will need to ask, and here they are. The first question you want to ask is the seller reviewing offers as they come in or on a specific date? Timing should be part of your strategy, and considering what the market looks like, timing can be on your side if you use it wisely. If it's a seller's market, perhaps you wait to see what other offers come in so you can find out what the other offers are looking like, and then you can leverage yours. Or if it's a buyer's market and you hold a lot more of the advantage, perhaps you can wait or submit if the timing looks like the seller wants to sell quickly. This also allows you to decide if your buyer has more time to look at other homes and perhaps figure out if they want to offer on those instead. Another key question to ask the listing agent is, how many other offers are out there? Buyers need to know who their competition is. An agent should not be afraid to ask this question so that they can put their buyer in the most advantageous position to win. Most buyers do not want to get into a situation where they're competing against 30 other buyers. If they're not afraid to compete, then you should ask the listing agent what prices the other offers are coming in at. Now, technically, a listing agent should not divulge amounts because they have a fiduciary duty to their client, and they want to usually allow for a level playing field. However, they may give an idea of where the prices are falling. Are the other offers at, above, or below list price? Are they under X amount? What is the lowest amount the seller will take? And are they flexible on price? These are all fair questions for you to ask for your buyer so that you guys can strategize on the most competitive offer amount. Think, if there's no other offers, could you potentially offer a lower amount? Now, keep in mind, price is not always the most important factor. The seller will look at the buyer's financial qualifications, other terms in the offer, and a lot of times they'll consider whether they just like the buyer and/or the agent. All of these factors can also push an offer to be accepted. That being said, you want to also find out what are the terms that the seller is looking for. Basically, what are the terms that they want that is going to get an offer accepted? For example, have they already moved and would like a quick close? Are they in escrow on another house and need the close of this sale to be concurrent or happen at the same time as their current sale? Does the seller need time to pack and move and would like a rent back? Or are they simply looking for the highest price? Knowing this may turn the buyer off from offering, or it may do the opposite, and it may encourage them to put in a very competitive offer. The next question you want to ask is, how motivated is the seller? Basically, how badly do they want to sell? Are they just testing the waters, or are they serious about the sale? Why does the seller want to sell? If they're serious, they're going to work with the buyer, perhaps negotiate with the buyer, and do what it takes to get that home sold. Perhaps the seller got a job in a different state and needs to get the home sold quickly. Or maybe they're expecting a baby soon and need to move into a bigger house right away. These are all things you want to consider in terms of writing your offer. Now, here's a question that a lot of buyers' agents don't ask, but should. Is the seller willing to negotiate if there's a low appraisal? You should absolutely know this information up front to avoid potential conflict or possibly a canceled escrow. Don't waste your or everyone else's time and money if the buyer can't afford the appraisal difference or the seller isn't willing to negotiate if there's a low appraisal. If the agent says the seller is willing to negotiate or is open to it, or feels that they are able to discuss this with the seller, then there's a chance for negotiation and your buyer might consider placing an offer. Lastly, be sure to ask if there was anything that was recently repaired in the home or if there's certain items that do need repair. Does the agent or seller have previous inspection reports, structural repair reports, or pest control reports that they're able to share? This prepares the buyer for what might be expected in an inspection and what the buyer might want to change on their offer. It can also remove any need to negotiate for credits or repair if the buyer is willing to accept the house as is. With all of this, make sure to review any seller disclosures in advance and know which card paperwork you need to use if you're writing up an offer. While you're organizing and planning all this information, be sure to keep in constant communication with your buyer and the listing agent. Keep your buyer's spirits up and keep looking at other homes. Nothing is a sure thing until it is, so your buyer should stay in the saddle and keep their options open. Thank you guys for joining Real Talk today. Hope you got a lot out of that. Before you go, be sure to check out this video. It's got a lot of great information. I'll see you guys next time.